First game of the season out in Los Angeles against UCLA. He's the more physical back, and he gets the handoff, comes right, and works his way down to the 15-yard line. Joe Hayden, Brandon Spikes combined for the tackle, but a little bit of life in Tennessee now.
Absolutely.
That's the end of the first quarter, with Tennessee threatening, though they trail by 17. We'll return to Neyland Stadium after this message and this word from your local station. More than 100,000 here in Neyland. Florida has jumped out to a 17-0 lead, though Tennessee threatens. Gary, how about the first quarter?
Yeah, it turned around on the first play. Dropped the ball. We're all worried that nothing good is going to happen for Florida. And what happens? An athletic player makes the Florida play, leads to Vern's favorite play, which is now kind of old hat. And then you get the punt return by James again that really got Phil Fulmer saying, what are we going to do wrong next? He said in the first game versus UCLA, we made enough mistakes to lose more than one game. They're there again.
Second down and 1, though, for Tennessee. Montario Hardesty is the running back. Crompton gives it off to Hardesty, runs into his own man, and then spins and gets the first down. A.J. Jones with the tackle. Anthony Parker, number 75, impeded the progress.
Yeah, that's, you know, that offensive line for Tennessee is where the strength of that offense is. 97 starts coming into this season. They're the most experienced offensive line in the league.
Gerald Jones is back in, and the G. No, it's Crompton. I beg your pardon. We've got to keep watching 4 and 8, and Tennessee was a little confused, along with certain announcer.
Good old Vern?
Yeah.
I think they had a wrong formation there. That's why they called timeout.
Now mark this moment. This is one of the few times you're going to watch the Volunteer Band and not hear Rocky Top.
Yes, this is the other song they know.
Average in-game performance of Rocky Top, 38. We've established that over the years. We're in the second quarter.
Vern, 9 plays so far in this drive for Tennessee. Ideal run pass, 6 runs, 3 pass. I think that's about perfect.
Crompton, the quarterback, 2 receivers to the left side. Handed off, Hardesty. Nope. And Brandon Spikes in the middle of things.
When we talked to David Clausen, he was very concerned about getting the spikes. He said, I really want our guard and center to push together the front guy and then get the spikes later. He said, because those defensive tackles are as good as I've seen as redirecting off of blocks and getting into the backfield. So he says, let's assure the line of scrimmage and then get the spikes.
Second down, officially still 10. Movement of the line, contact made, and a flag thrown by the umpire. Looked like Vladimir Richard, one of the guards, moved, but let's see. Thomas Ritter with the call, and from the applause from the offensive line of Tennessee.
Dead ball, offside, defense. The defender was in the neutral zone, causing a false start. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Now remember, the offense can't move first, but if the defense draws them off, that is a good call right there. And a big play for Tennessee, because now they put it in manageable position, and remember, they can get a first down.
Toss, Foster goes right and runs right into a couple of Gators, the first of whom was Joe Hayden, the second of whom was A.J. Jones.
Justin Tratto did such a good job that time, number 94, the defensive end. He refused to get hooked on the play and turned it back inside so everybody else could make the play. Tratto, we saw him last year, a very young player. He's put on weight now, probably put on 15 to 20 pounds, and now he's a legitimate defensive end.
Third down 5. Volunteers attempting to get on the board. They trail by 17. Blitz, Florida. Crompton across the middle. Caught short of the first down. Well, no, wait a minute. He may have gotten it with that effort.
He did.
That's the tight end, Luke Stocker. And by struggling and refusing to give up after the tackle was first made, he might have given Tennessee a first and goal.
Yeah, and they think he's going to be a really good player despite what happened last week. There he is right there. Middle of the field is open. Throw him a 2-yard pass and let the big guy take it for a first down. That's how you play football. Stocker had 2 or 3 drops last week, but the coach is all set. He is going to be an outstanding tight end for us.
Yeah, Philip Fulmer went out of his way in our conversation yesterday to point out that Stocker had lost no stock despite his 3 drops. First and goal, Volunteers.
Berna, I wonder who Tennessee will go with here. Foster, who's had all those troubles. Remember those fumbles he's had?
Right.
Or will they go with Hardesty, who seems to be a better downhill runner?
It's going to be Foster. Foster fumbled at the 6 against UCLA. Like it or not, he has gotten that reputation, and he doesn't like it. Foster, left side, yard or 2. Well, everyone who bleeds orange here remembers the fumble at the 6 against UCLA, but in 05 against South Carolina, he fumbled and the Vols lost by 1. In the Outback Bowl, another fumble and the Vols lost by 10. And then this season, they were going in to make it 21-7, and Arian Foster had the misfortune of the fumble then. He was wearing number 30 in that game as a tribute to his teammate David Holbert. Crumpton is the quarterback. This is the 14th play of this drive. It is Foster at tailback. Fumble, that was not Foster.
My.
Crumpton. And Florida has recovered.
Foster's got to say, what am I, jinxed or something? Last year, Eric Ainge hands it off to him left-handed. This time, Jonathan Crumpton, I think he hit the fullback.
Yes.
I think he hit Kevin Cooper on the hip. And that is the first thing in fundamentals you're taught as a quarterback, is keep that ball close to you and let the fullback clear. Oh, what a self-inflicted wound.
And looks of disbelief from Philip Fulmer.
Well, let's take a look at it again. I'll show you how the train wreck happened. The guard pulled a little slow, and the fullback, Kevin Cooper, did the wrong assignment. When he goes and pulls out, he kind of runs into the blocking guard and actually gets into Crumpton's way. That was the train wreck.
And so, after 8 minutes and 6 seconds, nothing. And now Florida has it. Tebow in the end zone. He'll keep it, and he gets maybe a yard. And I just can't imagine, Gary, the degree of exasperation for Philip Fulmer and this entire Volunteer group. 8 minutes, 14 plays, Zipola.
It's hard to really, I've been in a lot of these things on the losing end like this. There's an air of negativity about the team when you go into the game, and then you play right into it. And then you start to say, maybe everybody's right here, and it just starts snowballing down the hill, and Tennessee has to get this arrested very quickly.
Agreed. Well, second down now, and Tebow again is in the end zone. He has it, goes left, and he's out near the 10, short of the 10, and it'll be third down. Dennis Rogan with the first contact.
See, now, normally I think Florida and Dan Mullen, their offensive coordinator, spends time thinking about managing the hits on Tebow. Okay, we got to last the whole year and all that stuff. But this is Tennessee, and this is one of their toughest road games on the schedule. I think they're going to sacrifice as many hits as they need for Tebow to win the game, and I agree with them 100%. This isn't UAB. This is Tennessee.
Tennessee defeated UAB here, and timeout is called by Tim Tebow as the play clock winding down. Early moments, second quarter. CBS Sports coverage of the Home Depot SEC continues after this word from your local station. Be a part of the action with free college fantasy football. Create your team now at collegefootball.cbssports.com. 8 minutes and 6 seconds. Time of possession for the Volunteers. They get down inside the 5 and fumble the ball away. And now 3rd and 3, Florida at the 10. Percy Harvin in the backfield. Tebow joins him.
Like to run the option when he's in there.
Tebow keeps, cuts. He's got the first down after the 15. And let's go down to Tracy Wolfson. Trace?
Guys, no surprise, there's a lot of frustration on this Tennessee sideline. Gary, you mentioned it. This is in UAB. Well, center Josh McNeil came off screaming, banging his helmet, saying, come on, guys, we're in the SEC. Let's play like it. Remember, Fulmer told us yesterday this team has no leadership, and that concerns him. And, guys, this is the time they need a leader to step up and take over.
All right, Trace. He said that the leadership right now, the emotion and the energy was coming from the staff as opposed to the players, and he needed someone to emerge to take that role. First down and 10, Percy Harvin. Here's the option.
Yeah,
you call that. And Harvin,
look at this.
Pretty nifty, isn't he? Dennis Rogan with the tackle. Ben Martin was second there, and we go back to the 3rd. Tim Brando.
Excuse me, fellas, I've got a little fly swatting to do, okay? We lost Fresno State last week, East Carolina this week, but BYU's getting it done. Max Hall, 7 yards to Austin Collie, his second touchdown catch of the day. They've scored 86 points in a row, and Utah, another fly in the ointment, leading Air Force 7-0. Utah and maybe even Tulsa working their way into the mix, Vern. Back to you.
Well, Tim, I think you've gone from 4 flies to 2 now, right?
Oh, yeah. Tulsa's an interesting team.
Yes.
You know, they're going to be in it. They're going to score points. They finish late with East Carolina towards the end of the season, I think. That'll be an interesting game.
Second down. Florida leads 17-0. Harvin still on the field. Here's the corner blitz. There's the option to Harvin. And he is keel hauled as he gets up near the 30-yard line, but that's going to be another first down. 9-yard gain. Walter Fisher with the tackle.
Watch how disciplined Aaron Hernandez is, number 81 on this option play. He's lined up right here. He's going to pass the first guy. Now, most guys say, all right, I'm going to block him. He goes, that's the quarterback's guy. Runs right by him. Tebow makes the pitch and makes the play. That is discipline. That is hard to do. Great job, Aaron Hernandez.
Harvin is out. Emmanuel Moody in as the running back. There's a flag in the backfield. Tebow keeps up to the 40-yard line. If the play stands, and I don't think it will, it would be a Florida first down. Yep, it's going to come back.
Well, both teams are making mistakes. Florida is making these itsy-bitsy little ones, and Tennessee's making these gigantic mistakes. Who's winning? 17-0.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 players moving and did not get set for 1 second. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, one of the 2 was Emmanuel Moody, the Southern Cal transfer. Sat out last year, a young man from Coppell, Texas. Seemed to be taking his lack of playing time so far this year in stride. Didn't seem to be upset.
You know, Urban Meyer, despite the spread, is kind of an old school coach. You got to earn your time.
Here's the option.
Nothing there.
No, not at all. Great job defensively for the Volunteers, and Alex Wilson, number 35, playing middle linebacker at 5'10", 225.
All right,
nice job.
Excuse me, Vern. We talked about Hernandez. Now watch Aaron Myers-White. He's just outside of your picture on this one, bottom of the screen. He comes up. Let's stop it right there. See, he takes the pitch man and he lets the next guy take the quarterback. That's assignment football on defense. Both teams, when you're running option football, the offense has an assignment. You can't deviate. And the defense, Adams White, he doesn't even go and try to tackle Tebow. He goes for the pitch man. Great
See
defense.
the number, excuse me, Gary.
Yep.
6 for 15 on the ground. Here's a dead ball infraction. Keyston Moore.
I think Urban called a timeout, did he not?
Well, there's a flag down as well. Let's see.
Yes, I think Urban beat it.
Prior to the snap, there was a timeout called by Florida. That is their second charge timeout. There is no foul for an illegal shift. Timeout occurred before the snap.
I wish both in college and pro football they would go back to the rule where the players on the field call timeout.
We're back at Neyland Stadium. Now let's take a look at Home Depot's tools for success. You remember the A-team with George Peppard and Mr. T were here?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I'm so glad.
Not all of it, but I remember the music. So let's go. The tools on the G team here are fast. They're high-speed power drills. This time has been Brandon James so far that has been the most used tool, but they've got 5 or 6 of them on what we like to call the G team here for the Gators, and they're all over the field, guys that can run and make this Gator attack go.
Brandon James had a punt return of 78 yards earlier in this ball game. It is his second career punt return against Tennessee. Second down at 18, midway through the second stanza. 3 men down, Volunteers up the middle. Emmanuel Moody goes, and he's out across the 25 to the 26. Nevin McKenzie, number 20, alternates playing time with Adam Myers-White is there, and a flag is down, late flag. Thomas Ritter.
We have 2 unsportsmanlike fouls. Number 16, offense. Number 24, defense. Those penalties offset. 3rd down.
Carl Moore for the Volunteers, or rather for the Gators, number 16, and D'Angelo Willingham, number 24. There has been a little bit of a chippy attitude.
Yeah.
Here.
Well, you know, almost all football games are, but you're